G'day people, welcome back. I'm Monster Dad, and we're playing Alpha 9.2 Experimental. This is episode 2. So at the end of the last episode, after a pretty rough start trying to fight off some spiders as soon as we got out the escape pod, barely had time to skip the Robinson protocol before we were attacked by 4 spiders. But yeah, okay, well, we managed to get by that. I'm alive. We did it. Anyway. So I got down to this little lake area, not far from the escape pod. It's just there. We sort of went round in a direction like that, discovered the main wreck, come back here, made a little campsite so that I can now produce a few things. I've got a motorbike, so let's see, how many resources do I actually have? Oh, I think we can get another 2 lots of that. I definitely need more copper. And more stone as well, actually. Yeah, and a lot more iron. Okay. Yeah, because what I want to do now, the goal for this episode is to bring in one of my basic little hover vehicles. Carbon substrate, yeah, I need a bit more stone probably to get that. 112 copper, silicon, iron. We're not far off getting that. But I just need to... Yeah, it's the copper mainly, isn't it? How much carbon substrate can I make? Let's make a bunch and find out. Yeah. I'm not far off level 5. Still need to pick a few more things. So the main goal... it's getting late actually in the day. I went around and gathered a bit more silicon from this little lake area, but that's pretty much all I've done in between episodes. So what I want to do now is head out. I need copper more than anything. So I'm going to head over to these. I really actually quite like this little sandy area as a possibility as a base. We're not far from water. Got a savanna there. I think that was a radiated zone there. That's the Talon territory, that green one. We'll be visiting them shortly. Not far from the big waterway over here. So I kind of quite like... I know it's very close to the escape pod, but you know what? There's no such thing as a starter biome anymore. We call it a crash site. Things still spawn. It's not much safer than anywhere else. But yeah, so my goal now is to get out copper, iron, wood. I need to make a load of fuel. And that, and I need some more stone as well. Go away, cricket, I'm not disturbing you. So that is my goal. So what I'll do is I'll probably just cut here and I'll bring you back in if anything exciting happens, if I get tapped by anything, or I get to the end of what I'm trying to do. So I'll see you in a little while. Later. Okay, welcome back. See that little Tulululurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurulurul I think I'm going to have to move. Oh, what a pain. What a pain. Let's see if I can... Well, nothing much interesting happened when I was gathering copper and wood. I had a little encounter with some spiders, but they come off worse. My shotgun came off best. Doesn't seem to be interested while I'm on the bike. Is he coming? Excuse me. He seems a bit confused, doesn't he? Okay, well, I'm just going to have to try and process this stuff. Once I get my hover vessel, I think what I'll do is abandon this spot. Now, I think I might move over to that sandy area over there. I quite like the look of that. Yeah. Possibly. I'm not sure yet. Okay, well, I'll just have to have my shotgun handy. Found a couple of the wrecks. That's where I got that little bit of Neo from. Neo ore. Right. Excuse me. So the other thing I'm missing at the moment to finish this HV is around 40 or 50 copper. I've had I've had fools cooking up. I've had fuel cooking up. So we're good to go with that. I did sleep overnight once during that little gathering period, so that's why there's so much fuel being processed. Excuse me again. Let's cook up some more iron as well. Okay, so that's 50. How close are we now? Ba-boom. Oh, we've got it. Okay. Almost 10 minutes. Ugh. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll cut... Excuse me, I'll cut again. I'll cough and cut. And get back to you when that's ready. What I'll have to do as well is build a little landing pad. Should have enough resources to do that. Yeah. If not, I'll just have to nip out and grab some. So I'll see you in a little while. Later. Okay, welcome back. So I built this little spawn pad here. It's morning now. It was really close to night when the blueprint finished, so... What are you... Oh, really? I missed. How did I miss? And he hit me. They can climb up things now, can't they? The pathing has been improved. Okay, right. It's me and you then. Let's go for it. Yeah. Shotgun blast to the face. Faced? To the face. Does it every time. He did get a hit pop off on me though. Little monster. Right, okay. Let's get this in. And we are going to be... Well, we're already mobile. Apparently you can turn your blueprints now, but I haven't worked out how to do it. Oh, really? Boom. Yeah, we're already mobile with the motorbike, I guess, but we're going to be mobile in a much, much safer way. Now this thing, I did build this without an armor locker. Now I built myself a multi-tool because I had 2 charges, found 2 charges in the in those small wrecks. So let's get rid of that. So I built an armor locker and I built an extra thruster. With the weights and volume enabled, when you start filling up cargo boxes on your HVs now, it really kicks its butt with its ability to move. I mean in big time. You'll see what I mean. It's, you know, you overfill these and it's almost impossible to get them moving. Now I'm going to put 3 cargo containers on this because it only has an armor locker and I think a harvest locker. But if I filled these up to the max, you're going to see a marked drop in performance on this machine. I can tell you. Okay, let's just sort those. Let's go into my armor locker. Oh, did I pick up my armor? No, I didn't. Idiot. I hope I made it. I can't remember now. Anyway, let's... I didn't pick up the fuel either. Oh dear. Okay, let's grab 50 of that. Did I not make armor? I don't know if I've got the resources to do it now. Yes, I do. What an idiot. I don't need to be carrying that motorbike around with me now. I can go in there. This is just my sort of like spare stuff. Oh, spare stuff now. Oh, excuse me. Built a couple of base cargo boxes ready to go. Once we decide where the base is going to be. Okay, let's fuel this. Boom. I'll keep those for my tools. Should already be set up. Yep. Idle. Good. Okay, let's just move it off there because I want to take that platform apart because I need it. It does have a fridge on this thing as well, so at least I can, when I get meat now, I can at least keep hold of it. Okay, let's grab these back. Excuse me again. Shame I can't take the core intact, but I should get most of the material back from it. Oh, I shouldn't have taken the core, should I? What an idiot. I can't get the whole blocks without the core being on there. See, I'm still not well. Not thinking straight. Oh well. Wasted a few blocks. Bit annoying, to say the least. Okay, what I want to do is just go in and just number these cargo boxes so I can tell them apart in my F4 menu, the new menu for transferring stuff. There's no wireless router on this HV, it's a real basic one, but if you're close enough to it, you can still connect to the boxes on it. So what I do need to do is start moving this stuff. I'm not sure. Do you know what? I should probably go and decide where I'm going to set up my permanent base before I start doing that. Can I build another core? No, I can't. I don't have enough resources. What am I missing? Computer. So it's copper I'm missing again. Okay, well, I guess we can gather some copper whilst we're out exploring. I don't need to take the tent. I've got some lights on this thing. Which I might as well switch on since it's raining. Okay, so we now have HV with a grinder. Now, in the next episode, this grinder here, it's all it's going to take, will completely, excuse me, and utterly neutralize the Xerax threat for me. You don't believe me? Tune in the next episode and you will find out how. Do you know what? You've been annoying me for some time now. You're going to have to go. Yep, this grinder will neutralize the entire Xerax threat from the entire Xerax nation. What have you got for me? I hope it's worth it. So I press F4 and I could go into the boxes and cargo stuff from in there. Let's go to the fridge. Oh, they give milk as well, do they? I really don't fancy drinking milk from one of those hideous creatures. So it's a case of deciding where to go now. I need copper. What I might do is just scout out this area at the top here. So my primary objective now, as I mentioned, is to scout out a spot for a permanent base. In the past, what I've done, because there hasn't been an issue with just loading your HV with loot completely and utterly and resources, you just load it up at 100% full, doesn't make slightest bit of difference. You just can't do it with the weights and volume enabled. Totally impossible. Like I said, if I filled these 3 cargo boxes and the harvest box and the ammo box, I wouldn't be able to move this. It would be stuck to the ground and I wouldn't be able to move it an inch. So it is a big issue and it takes a bit of getting used to. And like I said in the last episode, the only way I found to get around that is to scout out your spot for a base. And normally, as I was just saying, normally what I would do is I wouldn't build a base until probably a few episodes in. Excuse me. And by the time I'd built a base, my hover vehicle would be loaded with with loot and resources, you know, bursting at the brim. But now what I'll plan on doing, I think just head north at the moment. Now what I plan on doing, like I say, scout out the spot, put down a platform, don't power it because I don't want any Xerax attacks just yet until my grinder has completely neutralised their threat. Put a couple of base cargo boxes there and unload all my cargo into there, and then I can go out, gather more resources, you know, the silicon, the copper, the iron from the actual resource nodes. And I won't be able to do it all in one trip as you would normally do. I'm probably going to have to go to each one, get some, head back to wherever I'm going to be, then go and get the next one. So it makes a makes the gameplay a little bit longer in that respect. But with the storage boxes there's Xerax Nation. With the storage boxes on the base platform, at least I can take it all back, put it there, have my portable constructors building things until I power my base, and then once I've done that I'll go and neutralise the Xerax threat, and then at my leisure I can power my base and build up a little place for me to live. The other thing I'm looking out for as well are the little gold fields, because I will need to make an EVA boost because I want to get up to space as quickly as I can, because that's where I want to do most of my resource mining, because a lot of the resources will be in other faction territories, which makes it a little bit difficult to mine them unless you're in a decent vehicle where you've got where you're out of line of sight from the people that could shoot you. And in this update, Talon soldiers have crossbows. Oh yes, they do, which I think is a brilliant update. They really needed a ranged weapon. I mean, they're easy prey anyway, but at least with the crossbow, you know, you've got to think twice before you get out of your vehicle when you're near them. And I believe they're going to be putting ballistas onto the walls of the Talon settlements as well, I think, which should be really interesting. So copper and a spot for a base. Let's head along this coast a little bit. I'd quite like a nice little flat area, but against the water be nice. I should probably grind a few of these things for some food, but I can always get them on the way back. There's a couple of copper nodes, so I'm going to have to stop to get copper. It's desperately needed. Well, do you know, actually I don't need much. I just need enough so I can make another base block, a base starter block. So these 3 rocks here should actually be more than enough. Now next time I get copper will be in the resource, you know, the copper node that we found near the wreckage. Yeah, so prime objective now, find a spot for a permanent base. And there's the Polaris Nation. Cool. I wonder if that's an island. It could be interesting, couldn't it? Let's have a look. See all the silicon in the shallow waters. That's where to get it. That's where to get it. Oh. That is what's in the middle. I thought it was smaller than that. It could actually make it a little bit awkward on that. One of the biggest problems, if you're going to come back with a loaded HV, you struggle to get over the water because if it's heavily laden. What am I looking for? The map button. Oh, that is a cool island though, isn't it? I don't think I've ever seen an island like this on one of the maps. That is actually pretty cool. And a really tempting place to make a base. I think I might have to. That's just screaming out for a base, isn't it? Do you know what? You could dig an entrance into there so you could come in with your HVs over the water. And you could have a base kind of on top of this area like this. It would take some engineering though because it's so rough. That's the only thing that puts me off. If there was a nice big, like flat little peninsula coming off of this somewhere, that would be fantastic. But I think it's got to be done, hasn't it? I mean, it's just crying out to be, you know, Monster Island. Let's just have another peek around, a little scout over. Let's see if we can find a suitable place that we can make, you know, kind of like a harbour. Those sun rays are really intense, aren't they? May have to be this bit. I mean, you could have a nice arrangement of turrets on this little this little island here, couldn't you? And you got this kind of bay here. Yeah, I think that could be it. Like I said, a little bit awkward to build on because it's rough. It's going to have to be a combination, I think, of outside and inside the mountain. See, again, if you're coming back heavily laden in a HV that's not particularly powerful like this one, you wouldn't even get up. Even if you could get across the water without drowning, you'd never even be able to get up a little incline like that. I've actually, in some of the test games I was doing, I actually had to dump some of the stuff out of my HV to be able to even get anywhere. Okay, this little spot here looks good for the initial storage dump. Relatively flat little area, and we could actually, yeah, you could actually make that the ingress into the base eventually, and have the base come into here, and then part of it be on top of this excuse me, this mountain here. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. Building's going to be a little bit awkward, but I think it's going to be worth it. We have found Monster Island. Oh, and actually it happens to be on the right side to get our stuff as well, which is good, and get to those resources. That's it. That's our spot. I'm not quite sure why I didn't put the stuff for the base in the hover vessel before I headed off, but it's not very far. It's only not even 1.5 kilometers away. Perfect. Okay, well I'm going to go over, get the stuff I need to build this little storage platform, and I will meet you back here at my Monster Island. Later. Welcome back. I just thought I'd bring you back briefly to show you what I mean about the so excuse me, I pressed F4. There's my HVs, cargo box 1, and it's got a storage of 250, so basically I can fit 23, I'd probably be able to fit one more, 24, 25 concrete blocks in it, and that's it. This is a vehicle, for goodness sake. This is my backpack. I have twice as much storage in my backpack than a cargo box on a vehicle. Please, Elion, sort this one out. It is frustrating. I don't know how you could possibly actually physically build a HV mining vessel with these limitations and these restrictions. It would need to be so big and have so much thrust and so many hover engines on it that you'd probably never be able to dig a hole to actually get the resources out in the first place. Really needs to be balanced. Whereas the cargo boxes on a CV is 8,000 in their volume. It's a ridiculously unbalanced. That's what it is. I don't excuse me. I don't complain about this game very much at all. I really enjoy this game, but it is one thing I don't understand how they haven't seen how unbalanced that is so far and fixed it. They've released 2 updates since Alpha 9 when they introduced this, and yeah, it's a problem. It needs to be resolved. See, I can't fit that because it's so big. I don't know. Am I gonna lose this? Oh, I'll put it in there. Okay. So I'll probably have to make like 3 or 4 trips just to get this stuff over. Oh, I guess I mean I can hold some stuff as well. You know, 20 of those in 1 cargo box. It's ridiculous. I've got 3 cargo boxes on this hover vehicle, and it's next to useless, quite frankly. Next to useless. I don't think I'll even get this base starter block in one of the cargo boxes. Let's see. No. The ammo box, I think, yeah. I mean, the ammo box has a 1000 storage. Why have I got ammo in there? I have no idea. It'll fit in there. But it's going to weigh the machine down big time. So the majority of stuff I take over initially, I'll be carrying, because the hover vessel is useless for transporting things. Let's put my steak in the fridge. Anyway, I'll get to this. I'll stop my complaining and whining. The harvest box, you can fit about 21 logs in it, and that's it. Now I know you can put the cargo container blocks on there and put the cargo extensions on there, and I built a HV in Creative with that design and tested it in a real game. But the problem is, as you'll probably see when I start driving this one, is it weighs the vehicle down so much when you put any reasonable amount of things in it that you need to just keep adding thrust and hover engines, and it just becomes a monstrosity. An incredible drain on resources just to build something that can carry, quite frankly, some pretty basic resources. You know, carrying just this amount of resources should never be that much of an issue, ever. Not in a vehicle. Anyway, I'll get to it and I'll meet you over there in just a moment. Later. Okay, I brought you back in so you can see this. Okay, so I've managed to load everything between my backpack and those 3 cargo boxes. And look at this hover vessel. It wants to sit on its back because all the weight's at the back there. It's just sitting up like that. I'm pressing shift to flatten it out, but I'm not sure if I'm even going to be able to drive this over the water. So it's barely moving, and honest to God, I've got hardly anything in this. I had what, 23 concrete blocks in one, 20 concrete blocks and a cargo box in another, and hardly anything in the other. And I'm going to have to empty some, and it's simple as that. I've actually fallen through the world and it's glitched completely. Look at that. This drastically needs to be sorted out. Okay, let's see if I switch the engines back on again. Can I do anything? Yeah. Okay, so let's turn the engines off. It's just glitched completely. Okay, can I empty any of this? See, I can carry all that. It's just crazy. So this is what I have been doing on this, and I've been just putting 2 cargo boxes on, and then the armor locker at the back, and an extra thruster, and it's been working okay. So I'm wondering if it's that extra cargo box that's doing this. No, I could barely move it. That's really weird. There's nothing different about this one now than I had in my test game. Armor locker, 2 cargo boxes. I wonder if that's what it is. I didn't know that stuff was in that cargo box. So what I'm going to have to do is trash some of this stuff, make some space. I'll always get plenty of those, that's for sure. I'm not going to use a motorbike ever again. Still don't have enough space. I don't want to throw anything else away. I wonder if that's what was doing it. Because I think they spawned in with the vehicle for some reason, I don't know why. Okay, let's try it now. Yeah, looks like it. But this is a problem. A big problem. It's leaning down to the right because I have the fridge on that side, and I've got stuff in the fridge as well. See, if I end up falling through the wall, falling into the water, I'm going to be stuck. So as you can see by this, looting POIs is a complete non-starter. You just wouldn't be able to do it. You'd need a CV to bring the loot back. Which, quite frankly, is ridiculous. We should still be able to, you know, there's no motivation to go out and take out. I mean, I'm flying at what? Not even 1 meter per second. I'm flying backwards. That's why. I need to get back to the land before I sink into the water, I think. I think what I'll have to do is put one of my portable constructors on the ground here and just empty out the HV into it and come back for it. Yeah, so I mean, how could you possibly loot a large PI? Think about the abandoned mine. The abandoned mine's a fairly easy thing to take down, and think about the amount of loot that's in there, and you find some good stuff, some big stuff, some CV blocks, base blocks that are incredibly heavy that you can't even get in into one of these cargo boxes. Imagine trying to loot one of those with a HV. It could not be done. Unless the HV was as big as a CV. Empyrion, sort it out, please. Please, it's ruining the game. Anyway. Am I going to get jumped by some plant monster or something? Do you know what? I'm not going to risk it. I'm just going to sleep. My inventory's full. Of course it is. Okay, what do I not want to take over? I don't need that. I guess I could live without those things. I need those to build what I want to build. I guess I can get rid of the rocks. Now, got hardly anything. So I think it's the stuff in the fridge. I guess I'll just trash those because I just don't need them. You can always get more of them. I've got my medicines and a bit of water and a bit of food. You know, let's eat a bit of food. I'll trash the milk because I'm not drinking the milk from that hideous creature. And what have we got in here? 23 blocks. Are you kidding me? Let's see. If we split these between those two cargo boxes, let's see if it can fly now. It's still struggling, isn't it? Really struggling. And this is why I was a little bit wary about doing that base on that island. It's getting to and from it on a hover vehicle that has any amount of things in it. Ludicrous. See, one thing I'm not sure is whether what I'm carrying goes towards the weight of the hover vehicle. So if I'm fully laden, does that affect the way the hover vehicle performs? I mean, in reality it would, but I don't know if it does or not. Well, I guess we can find out when we get here. I think what I'll do is I'll put the portable constructor down, empty my personal inventory into it. I've gone past my little spot, haven't I? Empty my personal inventory into that, and then fly the hover vehicle back and see if it performs better. If it does, then we know it does what you're. Then we'll know that what you are carrying personally affects the way the hover vehicle performs. Nice weather for it. Not. It was this little outcrop here, wasn't it? Yeah, with a little pet slime. Right, let's drop that down there. Jump out. Get the other portable constructor. Let's just pop these things down there. Empty all that, jump back in, and let's see if it makes a difference. Now, I've still left the stuff in the cargo boxes. What I want to know is whether what we're carrying affects it. And it looks like that's a no. So you are telling me that that stuff in the fridge, 24 concrete blocks, it's the base starter kit. That's what's killing it, isn't it? What does that weigh? 1 ton. Let's get all that out as well. And now we're back to normal. Okay. So it was the base starter kit. Holy shamoly Batman. Now where did I leave that? I think I can take that marker off. We're just there, just ahead of us. That other portable constructor. So I can see a lot of people not bothering with the weights and volume activation until this is really sorted out. Why am I doing that? I don't know why I'm doing that. I want to get out. I mean, I'll be playing with it because I want you guys to see how it works. If it works. And maybe work out together ways to make it work. You know, because I like the idea of the volume and weight limitations to a degree. I don't like things to be over realistic. I mean, it's a game, for goodness sake, you know, and we want to be able to play the game without having to be too much pain with regards to inventory. It's over there, isn't it? For instance, Space Engineers, when I play that, I always have it set on the maximum inventory size, because there's nothing worse than going to and from a cargo box 10 times just to get something when you can do it once. There's just no point, and it's not good to watch either if you're recording it. So yeah, let's park this on this little edge bit here. Boom. And I think what I'll do is I'll quickly put this thing together, this little platform, show you what I'm going to do, and call it an episode. So let's put that down as well. So these now become our storage, because they can fit just about everything. Oh, I need to get rid of all this first, don't I? Okay, let's do that one first then. So I think reasonably flat area. I think we'll go for about here. Let's bring it down a touch. That should be about right. Doesn't need to be very big. You know, I could just do a square platform, put 2 cargo boxes on it, but you know. Oh, really? You know, why make it simple when you can make it a bit more extravagant? So I've got, as always, I do have a bit of a design in mind. Go on, get on there. Pop that. Oh, I want to go out one more. We need a block under that? I think we're okay. Which around do we want it? We'll do it facing facing the water. So I'm only going to put 2 cargo boxes on initially, because I found that that's just more than enough initially. Excuse me. But rather than just plonk 2 cargo boxes there, what I'm going to do is kind of suspend them above. I know I could put symmetry mode on. Well, okay, how's that look? Yeah, that's kind of what I'm going for. Just tidy up these edges a bit. Now, we shouldn't get bothered by Xerax drones because it's not powered. I've got no intention of putting a power unit onto this until that Xerax threat has been eliminated by the grinder. All will become clear in the next episode. What am I looking for? You. Boom. Let's grab those cargo boxes. And what I'll need to do as well is, now I've decided where this is going to go, I'll need to move all this close to here so I can transfer between the two when I need to. that right? Yeah. There we go. My little storage unit. And I put it too high because what I could do when I get a constructor and power this, I can put a constructor just underneath here. So yeah, looking one of those. And again, if you're close enough to these, you can press F4 and you can access them. But you've got 16,000. Oh, 16,000, not 8,000 in these. Oh, it's 8,000 in the single container block, not the double. So it's, you know, the difference between this, and I know these are going to store much more stuff than those small cargo boxes you get on a HV. But come on, you know, the amount of storage in there is ludicrously small. So there we go. So I'm going to call an episode there. What I'm going to do between episodes is I'll move all this stuff a bit closer. It'll take me a few journeys probably, so that I can swap between the two. And all the construction materials will remain in the portable constructors. I'll keep processing fuel in one of them and build other stuff in the other one. Prep some stuff for a base, for a permanent base. Yeah, and then store all the other stuff in those cargo boxes. But what it means now is I can at least get some loot. The stuff that I can fit in this and still drive it, and the stuff that I can carry myself. But more importantly, what I can do now is head out to these resource nodes and actually mine a proper amount of resources so that we can start building some stuff. But it's certainly, with the weights and volumes activated, gives you a slower start to the game without a doubt. Needs a bit more commitment, a bit more fiddly, as you'd expect, I guess. Okay, so I'll call it there. Thanks for watching. I'm Monsterdad, and I'll see you in the next episode when we neutralise the Xerax threat with this grinder. Do do do. Bye for now.